Bina Antisa, and one is our cousin Tisa, no corner baby. In case simple. Mammy, honorable Tanasi, Mammy, Konami Manajo, na me mana kwaba frefo ni nyabutre mame hana Ghana tie ha na ese utie medical catchero ye de akokodro na ye adwuma no ya krafie na fie fo so tayechi ye be koso ye adwuma 2028 encherba dua de botachi no ye de boba na nke nyasam ne enka your radio stations bi wo krom ha mampanyin na adote akonya so nsema na omoka no ebi kra timi di mampanyin na tem utie radio no ayembe hye wo BP a wo hwe asada no bewu na MPP ni a but national security for kroma kisi jabin opanyin na wo kroma ni men komo honorable good evening
brother
na media family na western to say
yaminado obia no ye papa
eto nka che
me show say yeto abawie say
akweza wo dwen ho
davio mugudo me ye party juma but say ye twen Michael Kwe ne committee in report no aba na ye hun some wo na ya fa is a juma ntima fa da makonye no mechia we tefu nyina na mamu biara official pa
right I mean starting free constituency na Yemra region no Escado Kitan constituency ya to abawie first time wa me no wodi nkomo eni eno ma me nim se ankoye nimsem meka se nya fi ni ebekom na yahwe but net saying what went wrong and then ankoye
oh medase I think Mosi no ni osi across the country enti not the Ghana for sebia member ye bu ni bia no bu efu yen kakra e bia wo ka bi chain ne yanti na but I mean ni na mu ye because about the 2020 before I bokone a lot of about 169 seats
yeah
you wake up call and you don't know as a party on my day in your break but on the yente there's a crop 2024 so na Ghana for watching as well watching as one and if there's still an MPP you know the best political party in this country and watching as well in December 4 years President Mahama Ben menkasa o radio do normally no or starting na busum na starting na eka no chede Olympiade man no bokoyi
okay
oben say or starting na BBR ko final na chede Ghana hana yin gozo so usi hospital usi school na bi won ka de MPP fu ana NDC fu go Ghana fu no boko nti say there azen say na wala so one way or the other never from etia however after 3 months he na yehu the way azen no yeden oroko nti be next month to con on the start a democracy in womb nti yes no to yes once was na to them na mean the democracy not na aton ya za Ghana for no wa hwe papa na me gizi there Morocco easy me ped obese kra but bobo pray the onyum go pray the praise happen wo bo Ghana for hu adin the sana adin bi papa bi anyi na mum akohwi na wodi wodi che Ghana for ye be bi na ka was wo ba no kun be wan cedi ana mo ba aha nti Ghana for nankasa we hu ya hyensu but motin dey if you be an mensa wom nti bonde ye political party nankasa so nkrofo ye mu a wo be ada we den okwiti emi ametade so the Galamsey boy but no onye no kwara number man me the party for na be no set the man up
and before na be na set
yes
wow
I've said it over and over again that's the year 9 year no set the man up onye no so no would no discuss my don from bra no be no yet them so it cost the party a number or shama roba no I did but so these are some of the sacrifices and changing your baby johaka today yen too soon after na party nonsense
because Kitan the Kenya MPP seat power
but onye Galamsey some no or affect Scotland because Eshima lady na in Ukraine appreciated by about 1,500 votes. No, it means that one now register on nezo year and or just sort. But as I said, because the last time you got in on about 2,000 difference. Now it's about 1,500 or so difference. Not today. Registration exercise no problem. President Akufo-Addo nya 17,000 gap the last time.
Okay.
You pay 35,000 one but two aba. It's got 35,000. It was a voter population 80,000, about 35,000 but not that as there. And on your hoping to see all the constituencies, majority of almost 50%, and the majority of one but to about to a young crop because no will be here now work some chain I had Yanti, me, you or train me at Yadwa, in I come. Bible Conny, I bet if you say Bush and answer, and I'm about because me then in Yankopon, which is the time the 2016 you win the power. Now, I was a member of the National Council, President Kofobe. I say, power ya jizi. Ya able to stand for 40 years. Be the Japanese party be. One stand for so many years because they did the right thing. And so I thought it was going to be like that. But it's starting. It's akam. A day, yente na sit no dropping. 2020 no Anjali is shanyanso. Near to cry as it was. But young Ghana for difference. At least no. Yen yapun na yes no be until we just the 2028 the way share and some baba and the uncle big frey who call us local also happy but join yasama mccain and I have every right the motumaka the said them you pay or you need to do for president more supporting and I'll support Kennedy Japan because the last time I supported him on your day because the man has some be but you want on nipa cross or to be true. Oh, sorry, that no, a branch of minimum from London, Suban. On your demand, he cried. Tears, woman tissue up upon your Mesu Macomb be in the case no American when you been to say them nipan. Why yam atasa now or on each other, motion competence to say, we food on or you're incompetent, Macachan there, Mepiwasam. I'm loyal to you, but momenko. But what's your competence now? A loyalty on say. They be sorry no urusuma nipa because in some people no okono akokwa ahwempa nipa nkrofo wa asam no kaka na ozinya asam amesuma kan bi nti master papa no nye mempede me say party by a regional secretary for 8 years.
Of course,
what I said was that every season has its own leaders. Now I feel that Kennedy upon ba amazing
but not with the intentions I would say MPP as a political party.
No. So I say party and never kade. ID na kasa isha but man sharuba. I spoke about unity. I thank Tescon Fun. Them kade MPP is the best political party in the country. Them imezi Kennedy nature abaha. Them just the season be our a certain unique leader here, and I feel that because of experience, Amenya, don't be a why selfless way to my sorry. Way to make you, way soon you saw me to all the tissue paper in young. As I say now, yeah, a party for also, okay, no, you know, atasa, into master and onto them. Magasa, minimze, into men says
8 years as former Secretary Western Region. What is the way forward? 2028. MPP be there capture Western Region because about Western Region now, unim wasem where you juma wo form, unim grassroots no, unim the way to go.
Exactly.
Prosperous is saying.
On the first year boko elections, yesha. Every day some pedamoko for regional chairman and a secretary. I to a general elections area. Meaning the majority about 60 to 65% or 70% of the previous executives will be stay. But now onto them because of abaze tsunami no scene nti ehwa anhwe ma party funpo anhwe wo be clear executives ni p. It doesn't mean that when you are competent nti I mean the party funpo boship well in true obia way because there are quality ones out there. Quality no bond there bad ones but to affect another one or two mobile, but another quality person which might affect positively 3 or 4 people. Nina no mepede Michael Quay reporting Baba. Pochewa, I demand me preempt, but I believe that above all, to them your career Kennedy King also unity. Last Dr. Bamba Omian, or no so yet to abe Wafra frame on Yana Casa, they in Ayana Queen Queen, some painful they are preaching unity, and I think that it's a reporting in Samba, coupled with unity in Yobokoyin, but say Eka Western Region, I mean now constituency is not 26. Now NDC that I know 18. Years 8. Ye G8 wonsim. I know that we mentioned Sita Beje Bobozin. Why able to my J wonsim. Mobe yes ya. Tell my can as was any be not or train. We are not listening. Arrogance. Ipa Casman and Madu. I mean, I had all your bufu put there. Mete there will be so on not taste one moment to in the moon. So I know not taste one more a year on well so I don't hospital. You know, so that sort of thing. But the politics, no, Ubiaka should be horrible. If it's also on your notice, but no, you can't speak like that because your rules and regulations or governing. When you're Aruba, sooner would solve problems. So I think it all boils down to unity. But seats be why they able to me iron. Yasan yachi. Where you buy my Yusuban why if you're not one out to the mohon, you pay 35,000 on Botuaban. No more say 80% puba, you bet you sitting back.
And the Western region sees Bena, who say MPP, a year Juma ye, na ye jai hantai, ye jai ye subabi, near Kofom, near no Mudim Koma, parting between reclaim.
But in me, my politics is very scientific. And then this for no copy, ni papa. Into my banam city, I never used to do that. I do my strategy internally, but I can't. Some matade is Kadakatan, so I tried. Mutumaka Donzi, Yapechi, Atasa. Secondi or Yazia. Into a Kaza for Lubian there, sit or Yazia, Secondi, now what James, we can take them back imminently. At us, other ones are better targeting. Nina Bay from the report in Obaban. Report in Obaban, you boom in some old suho. So, Matanam Kade, Beja, no, I can't say that. Every cran NDC seat will have a baby. Jomoro was not for us.
Okay.
But then the dynamics then. Atasa, ono no mamutum kadi ebeji ne echi jomoro. So if yours wasn't for us, a contomra wasn't for us. Ye jiji ni nyina. That time we knew Jabuso Suaman what started recounting no over 10 and you lose by 12 votes. Until now if I sit here and say that ye beji city minya data bia and then I'm just me them to no politician, me my then DC to me them.
Right. Mami misami ni majuma wa ye in the Western region and I mean so we will be a war form a what no masi. Now who could jina ye ewo Kitain constituency schedule anye ye Robin and a why what will be play our Western region and I say there you are done with Western region.
It's called Ketenji Masana Kubio.
Yeah,
so Sisi ane onde yenyi Yura Jugati wo Masumo into your nature constituency because also was the Joan or the Asio in your only opinion or time he's doing well Madana Sapa Yerko elections on sorry Jamichi paying baby on Yamukre and if this the Ghana de Puninya Mehu parliamentary candidate another former MPBA on ye parliamentary candidate where you quote them baby also means so I'm very grateful you Lucy and put that in but no fit that didn't affect mama into from if you say you have no or some calm or you coffee or tentaminchana and half a minute so no fit that no affect your partner so no I've just
you move on.
Yes, then we think about it.
And ye wife with ye affect when how psychologically.
No, I mean Sasemsa. Bare 5 minutes I think about it and then I look at the positive side of life. Then I move on. It doesn't mean that because feel that museum development accelerating as so some then I'm being selfish but I mean as a leader it's a pain be or crowd you need show now or demoralizing one not with it with the mission I have to show the strength and my role is going to be for the party in the sense that it been a mabetai you may be a million but moko constituency where the is in nature constituency may but not just that region munina so idam yadan mukum because as a previous regional secretary yankupon naduma after chairman Mark Menun Emerson by regional secretary mutum break record and then that record is still there until me feel there yankupon naduma mutuma ko other constituencies na mabuana widen YG seats because some of the parliament candidates don't obey no when region papa but I know that's a senti me major ones no more baby but it happened that or baby Anas Aremeyaw so I'll do that in the region but nationally so more papa
right
even a Europe Canada for Norco Tesco Nazia Mizinechi Tesco Funa nationally on your home to know what to about number you be fit tamale be fit baby into was Boko villages and matter this weekend or Winneba no so mokobi.
Right. So but we also kono invite you are you ready to join the
Moto matter ma shecho me di na chi ma akọ. Obi a party ni bi obefrom bi amako. 107.3 because I am serving the party. Dr. Baumia ma akọ no ho ni fie from onyim bonko mo muketi.
One fine come on.
Yes, me ni fine. Me text no respond this year. So obi obefrom you are jogati obiara. I have to because it's a duty, and the party having the privilege of being a regional secretary and a national council member, Muntum Gado be from Anamato, then I have done a disservice to the party.
The issue of early days for MPP for after storm way to start with, Jugati never call, Ray Champo never call, Kennedy never call, Bomiana Ese Oba, and you're too early for MPP as a political party.
On your too early, Afrabo on your Tokano. On bisa time anambo nti obi show ni intention there onye bi obokwa obwa mpocha sa o ma yan say test waters because here kado e bu show ni intention e ba fafo e bi okra onye wonya won fafo anamba ba minya mako e bi na mcham simu ko iskadi e bi so obi so bakada oboko mo ba oboko no oni afafo ma no ye but I am grofo pede etwen ansa because here test grounds e me here kan ya no mu tete wona Ghana for pwe won mpocha sa the test guy say Kennedy Boko, Dr. Baumia Boko, Brian Jogati, Kwabrin Japan, I don't know. Oh, na to be so. Oh, on job by me, then yeah, what are you researching? You want young prophets, no swear and work on what's a frat. So I don't think that it's early days because your position.
That is how they play the game.
Yes, so for Bian should be Aruba. Ubiar kasa fine Kennedy Croy spoke about unity. Ubiar ka unity nazi. Inti yena ya beto nesi baka nsembia ombo henza mpocho atasa but it's incumbent on paying funting. Ubiar show intentional. The moko. Cha party ni onde your dom. You paying futa yechi. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
As an experienced politician, 1 year regional secretary for 8 years, now what track records in the Western region, national. Minim say okay committee general report to beba. But what personally, also what can I say? I assessment, what flashback, and the buyer party MPP, Elusuye national.
Yeah, so for me, no, people are talking about the monocracy on the delegate system. I think are affecting because your elections are Dipaka Krabi or them on TNT. So friend TNT now me kakra o mana the wider populace one of from was a years away because I mean they move house to house nkrofo bi some then o delegate say we know primaries no azina is my hand for years my link yeah
MPP for the salon bisa
onye delegates no onye polling station officers on the day to abanye ma polling station officers to be at TNT and
of course.
But it depends on how much you bring food or a bribe. No, so for about to Abama or Crazy Manzi. But in your Tifina polling station for no work for near house, no year that day, no year delegates, no one but to Aben. Or say, it be a 200 cities that won't find TNT. No sooner as way, Fanezamana. Now, you paid 5,000. Mr. 200 cities, them Zamopia. Into it's the psychology of the voter. Vote and feed there. The polling station officer, but the point is that polling station officers 5 we do my way for partying for the 4-year period. But you expect them, even know when you wage, but you expect them to obey house to house and data na yet from party. Why the retailers? One look it out information. More example, tell Nestle milk. Nestle milk goes every year where milk 1 million things. Will determine from the corporate head office, right? Or retailers know will determine
because they know the demand.
Yes, because on in their locality, Nipa 500 or so. Out of the 500, 200 or increase or catch on. So on the collected data and it's got them the polling station for where then where you will need you. They are able to tell you, outdooring. So they give you intelligence, Lankasa. I to me but there's a strategy. I'm not the data to the strategy. And the major one way no behind your own.
Okay.
And say I to Abanem and TNT maybe and so no bring out cra. On Teda wa a year enyayin. Haravan, you know I problem. Maybe I evolve your queen, mana, yen queen, until the gap bido. what do we do? Even Mr. Dead, yeah, all card bearing members on to Abenibi. Okay, I'm for it, but how do we do it? Yet to old baby was say, and this fuye be my MPP for your from meaning the strategy because maybe I want crop and 1 2 I don't know. But if we're doing that, if we have that information, the end is wasn't here from can we do it in such a way that be infiltrate to okay, then it means that okay, say register a year ago nature dues send this or no on register now
introduce for that long.
So it's a cut-off period for that.
So be for the past 3 years, or you'll be a card bearing member,
exactly
right.
A year or two, maybe so that the margins are polling station for no one so when you or community people know it's they share them in zaman. I'm not a repository of wisdom, but be able to me at some them another was here expanding. Yeah, expanding call maybe 20, 15 and now 20 so 20 no still TNT.
Of course.
Yes, you still have the problem. I think why there ideas if you quick committee is another ban yashe. So literally and I expand them. Then that's the way I think we have to do it. And then meetings or polling station so here.
But me chawtio onuya wonto bisi o. I think what make
onuya wonto. Onuya yento.
Onuya wonto.
Onuya yento. Ntibawe oyun fantis onuya wonto.
Okay. Me chawtia but the issue is here na MPP free ya beduru baby a I say demand sika and say beto aba ya toba because maybe a twam MPP na ntisa your do MPP no do MPP pa wo pie wo ye bibia wo ye free no mu and yet because of the personal gains but for the party interest no na party no.
Okay, onye MPP nguti or NDC all political parties. On there after 1992 you call multi-party democracy. When they teach you be too few or next door neighbor number you pay all of a sudden no I pay MP. Now woman a car mobile a car no alone. Okay, into Ghana so another area so may change the bond of Atumpan a number. Say you would neighbor to an hour and wouldn't know if it's here. The next day, bond I would not a bansra. Exactly. Into a see, we move on our course anymore. Okay, or yet then or MP. Into be tabrichi. Nalamu, our boy house, when you cacra. Say your hide you loan go some your warehouse in Cacranti. Or bear no iden. Why we change ska or be wako primaries with your delegates go. No they win. So one, we don't get quality in parliament. But as I said, two no Obiaba when you go through the them na yen. And now yen them no soon. What's it when you can house hunters will try they will shoot without missing.
No, no, so plan is be two abraya money too.
Exactly. Into our them na case says canaban. The delegates so another police no the child hasn't catch them into a bargaining system. That's how into a human behavior. It's not just political parties because we make a story beneath a girl be not water nice water. And the first one was the cup with water. Near Bobo, they have a half time now. Yet what's about to some and Nangotin is in the Madripa. What could Roboton is ocean a domino you go on your dorsal. Also one train Mizun Suka from Abba. Or done one in between. Oh, yeah. You see, in time, John or turn me and you see, into what I'm trying to say is that I don't know when the Bogabiaka says Kaba into a daughter, as an and it affects parliament, it affects the quality of our democracy, on a human behavior. The on the Adomo Tanaza, doesn't from Anamoba, no expand that. More of it is education. Yenankasa, one more example, more call, I think I wouldn't say it because Nipa could know better, but the demands no bad. Ibuha, oh, you're 7.3. That's also okay, BB, or can then be or Bosom, until what's on Kuchis can now be. Me apostolic, how am I able to do that? Yes.
Or Cobblesome ho, or no one personal idea, Maniscano from Cobblesome so
because of what to Abam, not the Novo Tide card, and them Pochomun to me, Wow. So that's how it is a desperate and the edgy anamoba. Then there's one case soon be Ubia when you soon more pay, Ubia when religion, a number, Ubia was all Gizambia apostolic into Ebiamun to me, but because when you dey pivot into also are desperate. So the whole thing is about human behavior, into how you are assertive and educate people the damn way. So that in the my bone I feel no I recurring as a number. The bia no bia any demand serba.
Which won't mean meet said man.
Oba also and the oba ne obeji a man, that's how it is. But only in the men one crowful. There's a fine line out either draw down the genuinely because yes, sister work there extended family system and in your car when you want to know so that's the idea too. But more of this in politics or education, yes, one or two about they say, then you can demand or expect more from the performance of that person.
Right. 2028 just around the corner. The other catcher second will be Oboa. I decided what you will be Busia no catcher will say, I think.
900 days.
Jenny said, why when you to now I feel no Edru. MPP prospects in it to say enough young national issues.
Oh, the prospect looks good. I wouldn't say I'm happy NDC or mess up because I want them to do well. When they do well, MPP would dig deeper. Who benefits? Ghanaian no benefits. A man no bokodo. And I don't wish them to not do well. But as a two not to that, so I do 100%. No, I no 45. 45 for a pass mark, but is it good enough? Where a MPP is 60%, yes, you know your behavior no now. It looks good for MPP. I think that more bumpers the MPP, and this 1 year wrong because we will also dig deeper because he able to buy because President Bay Agenda 111, free SHS, mobile factories, ACC, so a lot of things, road infrastructure. So those things until on in some say 6 months, 1 year, and I'll measure those two.
Okay.
Akufa do the first year against who first year.
Right.
Second year against second year.
Right. First year no 1 year no my but when him say barely 3 months.
Yeah.
Abba. Fair assessment of the NDC government. John Dramani Mahama.
Fair assessment. Yeah, you be free SHS bay. But today some of them are not conclusive. What's the containers be you? Yeah, share. But asa ya pede hu bebe okesi. Edan ne article kin no nam ha. Obi slow na MPP be na cocaine wo ntina no woye na ye in the near to you watching so was matter was NDC not to the MPP or known to me ye no the naba you know say can them no be super communicate all these things are not good for Ghana but because I want NDC to do well then I also to them can be a bit dig deeper then Ghana benefit until Eshezo or OCCC ana there minim sebia President Mama one time no be any pentina or preno no I been wa kwata I don't know but so far I wouldn't no because 11 wetwem why the younger sub so ye be a 11 near anamoba okay to I on but so we replace it with other taxes anamoba into I don't know how education and people are seeing that matter was it where 11 was akashe port be manamoba tax be more into where I reshuffling why so for me no I could have fair assessment Galamsey you know I always said
you remember illegal mining so
problem as I said and on near Anas all the same law firm no but obey no me to the man to them do actual article be there cases are no work line the obey while stopping in and Charles Bissue is in the other as I said so say on the American may my bias towards him so for me when I'm talking
but so you're constructive
I'll still be biased. I just have to be objective. Attorney General so press conference no here. On the special prosecutor so no see a press conference. It's a difference and I like to be objective because make up will be back there. MMS no one in American day. Yeah, yes, but preamble I'm on there. I have a problem with the person, not the office. Office no soon. Nipa no one. Obi a nejuman why am office no then.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. The messenger, sometimes a messenger or the messenger book on
the best saying common.
May bias, and I don't want to be biased into Pocho. So, obey and check. Another question.
Right. Yeah. Quickly, Matua say, and I like that for the fact say, what's a more hontino. Will be a watch because on in problem, you know, and to say Anna will be kind of but now we are fair and now we are objective.
Because I mean, door or no protecting young Anas. and Anas Aremeyaw. Yes.
You say Jamin.
Because I mean Anas no ye. Mama can say then tell push my makasa kwichi.
Anas Aremeyaw Anas.
Na zobe no.
So you from 4.
Them video no be some more mezo anamoba. You know, I and I'm a special prosecutor to your court. That's why I don't want to go further into Bocho. Obey until Mamichan. No, I can the market contempt to market cancel. I'm ya Pochata, sir. No, but true book.
About your book.
Missing no, but true book. And say, Brebia, your boy, as Atasa, your boy, so I'm 2 about 1 to allow, or Bacawasa for another one, and as master of my time.
Right, I think now we're joining in Asaasepa 107.3 social media handles. Juma, you're the former secretary MPP in the Western Region, and they didn't come off former secretary for Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Charles Cromwell, Nana Beini, Unia Wonto Bissue, and I 18 come off, and now young now. Oh, I say will be Romain and Rashibi. So far, so good one to me, uncle. But when young men people for no, a be a home representative, and yet to say, whoa.
Yes.
So for more performance to saying,
oh no,
the leadership and
no, they are doing well. First of all, no, mobile, you're a your mark in Abado. Why has the papa on any team? Malam lawyer, and about for AJ Baffo. He's doing well. I mean, on there. No car, 60 facts na kanyezi no. But akushia, shishakusha. A bed man. Na me cast the NDC for today. Was good na me yards or maths.
okay.
Until one day near exams, no more copying a simultaneous equations. We are now a cumulative frequency.
Yeah.
Until me, you mean to my giant more copy. No more copy, pardon your equation, and no more copy.
Don't know, baby, an outruby.
But not to opposite side. To we are not in a graph.
Or Daneno.
Some of them to copy opposite. It's supposed to be see graph. You haven't made 9. And this is funny. As I said, what shards and also wants to baby, but originality, no.
Anyhow,
they have no idea. Because if you look at 2 political parties, MPP, more capitalist, right, a number. NDC was socialist, social democrats. Social democrats was in the way free SHS, NHIS, Metro Mass, them social intervention.
Poor policies.
Yeah. But Nina one over MPP no by why you wasn't account. So you don't have any business being in government. Not a school work, homework, so I account. But what started on the names you push and arrogance and see. On my in Yasam Nan accurately. It was a Kushina, no, I know a Benjamin was an acquitch. Because what's will reset a man? Okay, we reset a free SHS. First, what's will be review, obey the, but or called Anamoba. It's good. Because Emmy with Choma and Chobemio, if you are near MPP from Zunchum, near Zaba power. Okay, Uchuma. Some of them 1 million and Choboko school by the 4-year time, but it deprived
of course.
I don't do my politics like that. At Uncle school, but you remember NCA better. So, what I'm seeing, our 88 parliamentarians, mighty minority, they're doing very well. Because they have the facts and they are consistent and everything they're seeing, Ghanaians are seeing that. Ain't no can crow. On Odu baby, first 2016 MP Spoondu 80 and number 60 something. Panupo is about power. So we believe that them teaming will be my partner and no one will consider professionals. Into a sort of casa, extra background na. Oma Michana, one of our park no do no, and you wouldn't know. Into the sort of casa on the end this one time one casa. No, I can't. I
don't want to brofo.
Onto minimum, but Mr. Professional, so because why they Mr. Arabia, me, when the paddy be one night when you know you are washing bay. Like being the Biabrofu or Casantin, so to Muncabrofu. And Obi while washing the camera be you. The camera no you, I be you know, no friend Togby. Togby no fazen. The Togby fazen say, Asantini will be some Togby in a fire and talk treat fast. Togby in a 5 minutes or the question. Talk with Ben in there as to Brofin, so the Brofru be intimidating. I say, did I take anything? Say the truth. Ohane, as an Katana also, you know, Fadi, you know, you know, Kaparwa Katanan, even though it's a parliament now.
And even I had this if one.
Look at them, it's your parliament. Or Katana, I know I can brofun, but aside that, on your brofun, what here, but Mr. Professionals, some brofans will be able to make
the technical know-how.
Yeah, brofans will be able to make some Britain, or back a brofu fluently. But we need professionalism, professional background. But I'm saying that MPP, when the professionals more, until they are able to articulate better in the disciplines of what's one out to.
Right. Yeah. You didn't come about illegal mining because a bra NDC for opposition, no more finger. Or more threat or more point your fingers. I wore MPP for so especially in the western region. Someone amuye illegal mining.
Okay.
Now, NDC for about and it seems that the say crowd ye no more say crowd. Yababa Obaransi Baba Hono, Monday 17th May 2021. Samuel Kuja Tabrakwa, today, Foreign Affairs Minister. Eka Bibi say government appointees. Omo yadia, yedu omo kwa bruchire no, yentwaso. Na yen fix your health system. No ma enye wom. But fortunately or unfortunately, yadi de timi tu obia. You fly your vice president. Jina no poku kwa bruchire. Friday say ne homfa no after Juma. Yedina kwa bruchire. Say politicians mo koso why say ye gidie ben na the ordinary Ghanaian obenya wo mu say enne enru ade na enya no enne je say eye yenhwe somebody like Samuel Kujato Abrakwa would deserve say what tenase as minister, foreign affairs minister.
Oh, there if I say deserve or not deserve that nanenzie atasa what's one of your zoboko ba
Subain do
be you are my on that number time you can say emi po menka about college ni na no urbanism atasa urbanism because I started them as the president to go wim no ye dey na on the kasa so no why dey fine ehun mam chen dem nipan enyin wo dem na sa ade you are what ba on obi na si chen do innocent because all you need fine or kasa no so nti ono na zenu oyun kakra because the men some no kan ehun the ma me do sisi an so I remember me pa me pede be kan was of them.
Of course.
Because I mean, you know, my mom had heart attack and died because of the Galamsey issue.
Because of issue?
Yes. Oh, yeah,
mommy who was some no.
On the heart attack. First one, when you're two. So, knowing the mammy, no, and
then now mammy was some stream.
Yeah.
The young shin just like that.
Into my case, the one what's away the man, with some special prescription, must may bias. Because when I'm talking, I don't want to bring in the emotions. But on the message, 1 2 about 2 bar over 2 na no be anamoba, especially when it is not true. But as I say, any doing no connect on submission on your piano was in second. But as so the vice president be on young one payment number or you be so mammy. Yeah, the politics na could you to came, they so came. Or 2 mamma, what can them ever can then? But so I see people talking about it. I was here president. No, I president your friend hospital gown robe no to one wide or what's a year mobile we use Africa watch, is that right? Where you need today we see you Anna sin away sin it tells you that God or Kasi, but it shouldn't be a victim who is the vice president now. Time 9 to worry at the mazen and to pay for when you know what you're catching a more yet the mazen Robutuma to be no, so your mammy, I wouldn't yet the man them pictures, but Umamina or a vice president, not tuna, and Jeba candidate. But that's and when they're saying that, the way the man, where you want my min to but I remember Cassan with Mammy, I should Mammy Tassi, but Motobutuma, Munia, and Amian Tibisu. But that's and see, I'm careful in dealing with this because you're an MPP for Nankasam. So you see, you're about to have your elections. You're to election. I'll call both of us. Oh, hey, and this for no working. Inti watu na no pukajima nti yensu yenka ejakoshi. There's a floating voter. Osho suban anamoba. Osho suban there. Working na I will be ne Jim there no onye them that this is the right way. You know they on the right one there. The man mo bia in Siwagan habu. Nubutumato ono number of floating voter. MPP no I kono no atu aba ozamen. I think that's how I pray for her to come back.
Right. But I say, Mami share illegal mining. So far, so good. You're coming from Western region. To be honest, to say, Ofeno to say, and Cobrano, to say, Suna need to say, turbidity of the water.
Minye Kennedy, Japan, Tukan, your Creyo Dunkwao, first Dr. Festus, former Dunkwao, a Densha, was that thing, no man, me wheels, Leo Croho, Uncle Yerkonema, left and right.
I say,
What to? What to, Papa? On your children. Yes, baby, from now to Boissy. I saw you see, time na yeah, it Benjamin. You see, Obi Baka the Anas Kauna the manager said Ghana football was a shadana mobile. Because what we were doing
Anas Kahuna then say yeah.
Adam video not baying. You think people lost confidence in what we were doing? Because now it's in the area, a number near banning for 2 years. No Charles Bissue I bribe I say would you have confidence in the thing we're doing?
Because the leader now will stop here.
Exactly.
Yes, you are quite dear.
But as no yen occur. Into our career as in Bay, no name will lose the man will lose confidence with Ghana footballs. As I say. I'm not saying that
illegal mining one quiet dinino, so won't be why you bet me the Anas Aremeyaw.
Majority of that. Because people on the net, people were aggrieved over iron. One banner as in for 2 years. But in Shishia near the one, our Charles Bissue was that national and area net one. I catch a bribe. Into young nan, I'm a command into. Are you getting me? So, as an ask no yen occur. Into Okam, Nadamazi we see. Now, yeah, the means I kept saying that MPP, NDC, Ubiabi. As I said,
Galamsey.
What's that drug, cocaine, one autumn cocaine? The only thing that brings them, it's not the political party that brings them together, it's the money. I didn't rules near yen. I sat roadmap or where I didn't leading my mobile community mining. Upian to Mkadono, I sat in it with the Professor Amankwa, Professor Megbe, Kuma, Professor Lassan, one of me on for UMAT, University in the VPK. What's a Juman Mam Damna? My friend, Professor Sininan or book tray on share, and they will put a solid document together. Yeah, the major one there, NDC Professor Mumbudizin, Ubiaso NDC. When Juman document Korea, Ubiasa Papan or NDC, on your professors, they were professional. By Yan Crawford or NDC or best sabotage, no. Yeah, Jumama Ghana. You know, yeah, document in you, Papan or from no say. Yet 1 year cousin put doc I was about worried doing the mistakes. Until Mamma 2 days don't go read because Nizin come.
Okay.
Now correct document. He's a Ghanaian. But I mean so NDC on Grofin was NDC. Okra base on personal documents and I did. That was the community mining and the roadmap. As I said.
You bring child.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Nobody can take that away from me. Yes, the man no the 1 year one for gold, don't for Bank of Ghana and it's all in the Muyamutum Damo. Yeah, you know. The bone there, make them a brain child. I can't take the credit alone because there were 10 other ministers.
Okay.
Interministerial committee from Pombatin, I chairman, the 10 cabinet ministers count. I was the secretary, but I mean, I was tasking them, and I mean, the professors, my son, years of one count age. Now, that's document, you know, it is the document able to desire you. But to be banoy, while our political party, no, I can find no, I done. No, take credit. Nobody takes credit for anything. We all take credit together. But a man now starts with her. About no be about to the man. I'm over. But Banek, the one good thing, never take credit at a boy. But and teamwork gets it further. Time now, your friend and professor star will be say, what about China? They didn't know. I have a lot to learn from them. Wasn't got on them in my background, your law, a number. But I learned
on the job. Yeah.
Yes, Atasa. When I went to university, Coventry University, first year, man, what's your big group work? I mean, me picture them, Paddy Mukrono, or a black, or catch them there, on you mean your new group. No, I should show young guys, Miss No, also, 3 years, is on your distinction, Miss and Mutuma join the group, also a new group. You join you, group, that worker there, and also will lead the Hossy Charles. Because I brought them together, but they had better grades than I did. But as I said, eventually we became the top. the man is here Galamsey into Ghana no obia ye dwuma pedo no outshine obi. It doesn't work like that. Bring the best brains around you to do it. Now, that document, another pure baban, you can't work. 90% of it is those that document are President Akufo-Addo in the time. Yeah. But the problem here is that monitoring, supervision. But that's now one hour what's born, you're punish one. These three things. That's it.
Right, but more your roadmap as to illegal mining or man consider monitoring, supervision, and how to punish Nkrofo.
Oh, send on the law sent by the Attorney General charging Nkrofo P. That's the aspect of the law. The monitoring on no day in terms of on the nanas or goofing. I want no my license or also about your license or my license. Your ministries, agencies, Minerals Commission, EPA, Water Resources Commission, now forestry. When you now come and wait team, wait the major man. Elma mentioned it's a bonde. Yes, Galam stop in the bay. Galam stop in would be no. Minerals Commission and what's one pedal will be used. The Galam stop was an amalgamation of all of it. EPA to be no license and start a boom be or I don't know yet. Them Galam stop here and it costs us 400,000. I think what's found about $300,000 to $400,000 lifetime.
7.3.
Galam stop no.
Yes. Atasa. Me I know bit to be was every year with your 400,000. Into either what you scan every month, every year, mobile. This one here, American embassy. They came. Oben was what the even them Galamsey foreign countries were interested.
Yeah.
The American embassies ambassadors obey was them system here developing. And they brought Trimble and Oracle. Oben was the can't touch it, we can work with it. Yesterday you would be few on obese there. Won't to use what do use old one, no, what's it, Jiwiska? What's it, Atasa? Now, that thing could have actually stopped a lot of things because say EPA and Ejuma, then where you wonder what teaching Crawford or EPA license and Amoba. So one the things that Minerals Commission is a biabum there AI and is we move to a we move forward. That's what was causing the problem and Crawford to move to license though I could go to 2000. Now say what cause them supervision so what district officers don't know what the drones ban. Drones no hand over man national security for. But that drones every district was supposed to have DSN and work with. But I mean, me feel 2019, so me feel no job. I tell was hand over national security. All these things and national security for able to but maybe a woman will fly.
Okay. Mining districts, no.
Yes, or fly for what? Obiabo now capture data. But yes, the European Space Agency bay. No so by free once will be share. Was satellite maps were by any in our man free of charge. Those things. Later, I to know what I do people to catch cash. Easy. And then I stopped it. So, what I'm trying to say is that the whole thing, no blueprint, no ho. Obisubo to the account why the law or evolve at but the most important thing is that discipline and supervision. You're monitoring. No way you hasn't see your bed and your chon. Trackers or the bobo excavator on ads in and say, hey, pochata. Because all be your friend do fence in it area and see as you try your cadre excavators on what district assembly. Into all could try you no I record one.
Time I would move.
Yes.
Nadudu could do exact place excavator and
exactly. So on your district assembly no your space on from 2.3 at us no them all these things in Nancho Botuma I don't one more track in
oh is NDC for war, political war. John Mahama war political war to fight Galamsey, illegal mining.
On that, oh yeah, early stage, maybe a slow starter. In some say a month time. But me I start you.
Sir, on the river gas about
river gas. Oh, yeah, on there, most of no Crawford is so no. Ebia, oh, Jackie Chan no sir. Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee sir. But
gentlemen, the police. Amfa. Moody soldiers are called Amfa.
Okay, I'll tell you what I used to do. About and Cobra or no, or you fine mobile. Okay, so what I did was that sometimes I know a psychology. One hour a certain radius closer to Insunu. Sometimes was it pipes or was it shards and I say I didn't need baby at 4-5 miles away, but wait towards pipe I shall say.
Okay.
no be wash no be no akọ
nti wo so gyina nsuo no na to away na wo wash ebe gu nsuo no
exactly into one of them certain radios and I invited all of them. Me invite you in our office. Let me say this is peer review. In su bia corner I'll let ever from the relevant agents who job behind the license. About my red eye. You can't do it. Atasa. Into it doesn't matter to make so take care of yourselves. O man don't have a for. But atasa. That's how now I'm cobran. So you're not much on kutin or dear. Oh yeah. Brain.
I'm for suggest illegal mining. Galamsey between stop here. Yen trankran stop it. Yen yaima districts no communities no mining communities no. Ye committee name free ho. Ahemfo ka ho. Assembly members ka ho.
Yes.
And they the best way to fight illegal mining.
It's true.
It's true. You coming from mining region, western region.
I agree. So community mining trend. You could 4 areas. The chief, the district assembly, the financier, and the miners. Atasa, that's what originally yen. Into them 4 no one and obokake them rough. Atasa, district assembly. So when you police for no way you dissect, no you music na. Into them 4 that's why I isn't so transparent. And then we did something. Started BB, and you register miners thing. We did about 4,000 of them or so. One ID card.
Small scale miners.
Yes. No what GRA. IMCIM, and the majority of them you train on. I didn't know. I mean, after 2019, the Anas Aremeyaw Mr. Paside, I stayed away from mining in Samsung. I was not interested in.
But se Ghana da wakoma so na the Anas ebeye tiger eye beye no crane anymore. Why do you?
Oh, you see, urban them no. One can song for poker say, oh, why do you know? Atasa. Then some maybe was for, and then I told you that my mother also Atasa.
True that no.
So
pains womb.
Yeah, so I lost interest. It doesn't mean that I serve another capacity, but what feel there was a corrupt na IGD nenye atasa. So I didn't want to go close to it. Crowd will be after the more interest be atasa. And as I said, I learned it on the job. My member na minimum she painful no from I've been EID professors special area. So I learned Monsieur Biana's kakra. Elma Michana hen. Into Merba na minim she. Later na Yankoponado my mission bibu. And then that thing happened. Then I said, okay, it be some biamis. I don't want to do anything with it. But no something motu my then makaba. All I'm saying is that the means I was going on. Me choose the document and say, yeah, pede money. The document is there. But I don't it's or your owner or Opia interest you. As I said, on the miss on your political party as a move. Obia were interested. Scan not one but together. Into to solve it in community mining scheme no bobwa.
Okay.
Constant education within the
community mining scheme near then.
Community mining on say district it's more like the small scale mining but this time the small scale mining will be open wakaji. Ne concession na nala more piano or but community mining we made it so that stakeholders no chiefs no kakra financier no kakra miner no so or nezi and sana district assembly no so those people come together and they're running it obi our interest woman one no oba mo bi wake Galamsey. That's the base of it, so that they pay taxes and all that. And to do that, they started the year register on Mwenya or one ID cards. At the time, they more taxes because miners were young boys at us on an alternative livelihood they used to boom now. Also, guys, no one young pedo mining. No, I went to no wake. There was the alternative mining aspect of it for them. But the man, about that one community because more interest was in. I have to protect it. Moba. See, we are mutumako baby first market. Ubo reclaim all land. And see, I think it's constant education because Ubo obefi school no akesha. Ufide kakra Galamsey no benya kakra. And see, here so come, but constant education because yeah training no one no woba training na them company na do na young boys woba for medical testers divers ni ye training bi woba work of medical test obi on kidney ne liver young people because we feed them mining areas into them areas no one in sooner one na then will affect young people na so there's a lot to it into was a bisama the thing is discipline, the monitoring and the supervision but as I said, Minister Noria has an ankasan suit. I think Nalaben, when they add
enough from
you should use the president Mahama and Ankasas window on the phone. Say politicians non warrior. Yes, of course. People on to get a politician could say. I saw for you. I am for you.
Galamsey no.
Oh yes. Mr. Hono you as I said. Because Obia so there's money to be made. Anamoba.
Now wouldn't my suffer for any be your moye?
Question be some ne pede oba pick man.
Bezeki said that we were down for some before. But who my suffer for any be your moye?
Let's say for ye. I am for ye. Now Elma Michela. So journalists cry ne be Elma Michela that at the time no because I quick money anamoba. I mean now what's no I mean a bit too much maybe my be da. Because you know what, my mom told me that the man's not a bosom. One of two more rituals, you know. So I stayed away from it. And I was saying, how are you going to be strict? But how are you going to be disciplined? Make profit. That is why I was so assertive in ensuring Kakramusu Manti. I think that we just have to keep on because here them na yes untumi ye no say on say uncle nsu no owo MPP nyunum bio NDC su obonu bia na moba enam no foma anade wo dua bi bo na makri na adu komo wo be fi village was abrehen wan kan am ya to ye di anamoba he can come here obotu awo yipo awo abrechi kra na ekado bi ntu bro de no ntom bro na anade ekutu no mfemfie kra so bi bro obotu that travels about so everybody's at a risk. So I think we need to look at it holistically, not with the political lenses.
Few messages. PK Francis was say you want to a leader we trust. Was say leader Mujudi pa. Was so here free Kojukrum. Joshua Bible Tete, a man who is okay. Some new view okay. Mami ko view of one yin and beba abonting. Ghanaian was say the man in your studio is full of wisdom. Was say wajumu edo too much. Joshua Bible Tete was say nipa kekan bia ni ho na wodi no krepa na ne no e din komo ama wo se me misa say open national position na adentina wo mwa national open national position na wo mfa mwa MPP ma MPP intimi capture and recapture 2028 elections. And they what they abrayen and no. Joshua was I'm Joshua Tete watching you from Kwajokrum. Was say the landlord of a scandal. Kitang or no dia what they abrayen no. Piaga was say yen stop Galamsey no Mahama. She saw boys in the bit me jai because in Yadi see bit me abwa. Manuela ne di abrayen no was say Galamsey di omuntimi nya yo Mahama betra kunwa sui ye huna mani yepa. But quickly me interest wa amade no so. I say I didn't hear woman for national position. Now Omebua party no.
Oh sisi menu
recapture.
No menu ache is called curtain. And on the national level. So last bidam kakada mrubua Canada Japan ya was say my but it's all kind national that no pocho me mobua Kennedy for on in chede one hour ban ubianye pocho atasa Dr. Baumia why vice president Nana Danko Kufado is now got 3 terms so you were jugati or the last time me like I said Madonna say how or help him to the brand no one na we party we be na yakwa you bobo win or they aid it tied nichi but one thing I'm making there unde Daniel Mukro offended KNUST na me make his statement no microphone shama roba MPP fu we shama but is master pocho unde say obi support candidate bia pocho atasa onyum kwande ebehye na roba because also their support na eka Obama party po I Richard Bojatasa a competition of ideas say them na say tidawo bunin wo na market them support na obi ofi baby abehye waroba egu candidate no fi Bojatasa no che candidate ni did not wait to 2 years but it's the same political party I think that so my expressive view and I said why I'm supporting the person, but I'm supporting not you're competent to say and chame then me. I'm catching the metroas but while you're competent in then.
Is Baumia not competent?
No, I will not say no. He's competent. He's competent. Why as a vice president for 8 years? Yes, he is competent. Obi Orba no so ye. Dr. Baumia yenwe juma waye. Emisu mi feel the Kennedy so obutuma ibi. It doesn't mean that say you connect Dr. Baumia a winner. Muntu means nature. Or them is nature. Anamobwa. Hence, my advice is that so because of support to be a your particle. Men shishana roba.
Okay.
What I remember kada wo minipa no oba be chow wo kada minipa no oba be ni no MPP anamoba dey nya chow na phone near album na MPP abem 7.3 why dey yako bobo na say or by yako it was 11-11 where 11-11 go was padi na no so dodo nti ma mom bobo na say nyankopon no obon na no so bobo short kesa wo so koye den.
Yeah, Usubwadi was a great man of all standards, very brainy. Nedia with your brain, no. But me activity lines, no. Honorable me Basasia. Probably you person will be some when you Jose will be Honorable Charles Bissue, whether so ha on 057-777-1073. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, bro.
Me pacho di baby ati enkafe.
Pacho Isaac Kaswa, me na my friend.
Isaac me pacho obanyi Charles Bissue wa mami tio.
Pacho asema mekaye no. Honorable Afano Adawe. Mekenwa. Minkase. Ni o support na nansi waye no enyo. Ba mimi kirese. Nti yenya butre. Na ndifo no do mo report ba. Na nominees ni ade ni ye bia. No bia so honorable mimi nim no. Se no ba prisia sanko farmers. Na me ye adwuma ho Canadian ye yi me ne driver ba ko edi na me ka cho na phone ni support ba omia na me ne driver ba ko na ne support Canadian Japan any di maternity 1 year last year March ni am buy intinete me ka che baby onam na ye but me ne me che ni se mu mi nya butre na mpeni the report ni ba ni bie nominees no bia be hu bebia so woko sa na me ta kiro me Canadian Japan tin ye yi madi wadwuma matine fie 1 year me ne driver ba ko ye friend na poku ono wo Christian sisia
right asamba nyabotre if you asem hello good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Me pacho din ba bi ati enkafe.
I from a Benji me kasafi tema.
Me pacho ma mi enti o panyin Charles Bissue wa.
Me pacho me question mo na bo ye mi nu. Me person me bisa se ni nuane ana Bissue ana. And secondly, me question is adentina amun bon krofo a amoye galani bidino. So amun body if you send this for amun fa munyama ni enimu kra amun body. Inti ade na yen nim say we ye ni mboni di ni enwu say atumasi ye galani. Na ye nyina ye fa ye nin kono so say wo ye bi na wo ka setia. Me pato atemase. Inti ade omu body enso si ade bibia sie 2020 ye ni abre o. Ye ne match on boot for boot. Me da say.
Right, me that say hello good evening. Radio setting confirm. Too bad. Odin ba bi ati enka free.
Hello.
Ba chodin ba bi ati enka free.
My friend Ismail me kasa Africa na.
Ismail me pacho mi enti o.
Mambo papa na kasa na boso. But nyame kan say MPP for people are voting against MPP party no. And then omu no mu. And nyame kan say when I say Fusa, then in the Samba back at Obama MPP 2028, Mangana, Banana to Mapasa, Yapegana ye, and to Maminiso, Yama of Jabon Paimano, Yampese, Nessa Sameso, and the Bessie.
Mesumera, say my way from Manaso. Radio setting confirm. Wouldn't I be at and Caffrey? Beba chodin ba bi ati en cafe too bad. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, morning.
Oba Grace ni. And I'm Connie.
Me for choy Grace. First round no. Me frey a man pick. We bet my bread. Oh.
Fachen. Me and Tony Panidos. Charles Bissue.
Me for choy you. Every day in Shray Embra. Ewo asema okan. Na kata Embra ba ko ekaye ni so won wo Ghana. Omubodi. Wo na kwa say omubodi na meka. Wa be train ya. Look at the Emboa, and the Kayano Mark, one of one account. But so every day insurance, Medasi.
Miss Medasi, Obebudi answer. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
About Connie.
Have you, Mamma?
Mamma, Pachoma Mintio.
You know, you see, I mean, Shrawat. Nothing you attack with this year. And you attack with the power. Now, I am a say, Yana, your Boba, Media, Ovia, Bianca. Near a compare couldn't pay, no coffee work. And not to talk on the one, and I am here too. It's much more time, Canadian airport. So, some Mingunia met one factor because Yana, Namuna, and people. I don't know what be near, no more years. Yet a video, no more years. Namin Sham.
I mean, for one of Sona, the fearsome fear common in the dear, but Nametias. Hello, good evening. Too bad, I mean, for Manus, my patcho, over Jadians, one word radio set in Amamina, yet to me, Eddie, and Como, Mammy, far away. I want to say, hello, good evening. Maybe I told you I'll be at and Caffrey.
Yeah, going in a frame, I buy a catastrophic customer.
I buy me patch on my mintio.
Going in the become a mincha madame of a tea or new price station. Janapa. Going in discussion in a course of me cheaper, but maybe I did back way, hear me pa a timidi. In your meaning here, but did kind a timidi. I ain't the way you did your matter more. Also, we can say, because of Canada, in Eddie. Yanu be a coordinate, and some of whom you ain't never true. Oh, and yes, fair. What does it? Going to be, a communication. Your communication, communicate from my soul. Mama, I'm just saying, yes, Roma. So many ideas for the communicate, radio. That's all me at down for. Or the ammonia communication, we are more down for you. What you want to end this in the castle, a big stratos not your house. Now, the son at you. The son is a program, no more circle, no didn't not circle. Only one down from Baya, we are down for the more come with your program now, Munquich or Mugamma down for, but to back that program should be that would be a communication with Diagra. Let's have a Friday, the Becky can have me at home, the Bumwa, the Nabu.
Miss hello, good evening. Maybe I told you be a OT and Caffrey in January. We didn't be at tea and Caffrey.
Hello.
Maybe I told you be at tea and Caffrey. Abigail, me patch my into.
I don't know why you. I your phone. Never be said and be a band for giving me an do. Other boy, you have a canoe. If you said, well, maybe nothing. You family something. What can be? Yes, yeah. About power. Now, yes, possible.
Obama Smith, I say, hello, good evening. Udin be at tea and Caffrey. Maybe I told Udin be at tea and Caffrey. But hello, good evening.
Baby, I got there.
Yamidia Femia, Udin be at tea and Caffrey.
I drive from it all and Casa Sabuche school junction.
Open me patch me into.
Medal Sena Jumapa, Muyadi Bomber, Yakopo, and Shilam. Nature honorable, Yabobia, someone in the money, one abo Samo, and then the money, MPP. from police station to national executive any party mother party ni na michia obia enyema baako a ekoso ni se enya ade e pekabum ansakura na ya pretty about your friends the candidate ayedi ko 2024 election but ade a ye we say medi we chi we see we na eko we see we na eko no eno ntumi fa kabum mba o because the ehaju MPP mu say emrane kyerese se nipa mienu e contest na baako wini a ye nyina ye bo nipa baako na o wini na chidom but the question is that me bo na chidom na onu wini a me ye de aba enu na ehadwin every your friend is a constituency e copy your friend is a primaryship no last election ye lose ye no ya mo hwe running mate no mo hwe running mate no ne campaign team ni campaign team any ono mistakes na o ye no enu kla lose vote over 1 million votes so ti ma fear and some mistakes ni nyina no ye se enye we ye peni na ukokasa obodwe ma trosem no o paper so and you hear paper no so no na wo ye we men ka se so ti ma fear men ka se o me mako school me a doctor or me a lawyer me a way intino me asem ni nyina wo mitrim there be trogu paper so and you who paper no so no e be disobey mistake who ko bo who candidate dia no bo candidate bu frodi so just here wako first day ye du ko ma papa etu ufu no who ko beje ma no say nanado ye juma se ko me kruma mu ko me kruma no so ti dia me kana say that kasane to lose over 1 million vote. And the answer mano answer na your candidate. Yeah, honorable Kennedy Ajapo last say yan party ni ankam boom. Ye udi Jesus Christ the background and ya do about winning. But say ye kabo no be a preaching na ye we na ye di nipa yin na ye born a chindoma. Na ye na we tu nyumu na we tu di say nyumu na enu na be to me ama your friends the party no ayakono ama 2028 ya babem because ya no mu de omo ye vampires omo kire say 3 months ne kura no mo no akoma adi omo nti no we fa koke na we fa ha no kronfon kwa bra botema e was school dash ya say Asaasepa yesi MPP for state catcher no be fie omukum awo botema asase hu enti kronfo we mu ama ya di sa jai abai mamu enti no Ghana for nya ye efize free education no omuntumi nya ni ye na edi ne buy ye na edi buy awu ze help insurance ye ja omuntumi anye ama nanado buy ansa no betua sika no ama watumi etua ye friends insurance for ye awu ze nanado ba bemo no na registration fee na exam fee na yetua wo ba ya
Mera Sitola, hello, good evening.
Yeah, nana me mwadio.
Major Octopus, Mera Siso, o kan krofo mu Jimmy Dipa o Ghana o ka hu bi, nyame nyo kese mami ntie o.
Amen. Edia, futu ka ka me kama Ghana fo nyina atom ho aso se. Ewi ase ye so yire nya ente se wo ko awoda. Said the MPP party ti bi akwa no tu na fa de saa. Ye koto aba no tu TNDC. Eti MPP foko yi obi a yi na be di atiri. Eti ye nya ya som na e beto abonte na wunya. E fa so bi eni so. Na to so bi mana. Ne de en som a ku je to bra kwa family mfi wa mo keke gu MPP so na na etwa egbu omo a. E de pega na fo mi ka ho asam. So that say mo ka sa NDC fo mi ato. Ye nyina ye ka bi so mo nye e bi to betini abo oman no. E de sa de MPP wuji wu di na wo MPP ni no. Ka party no di ya party so be trouble ntin na kika and some e wunya me kasa nsam no me nye me dia say ya ko sia no makoyi o kandini no sa de tie bia obi ade ne bebe bia ka wo sanye ne pa na akoto abama no ukoto abama wo party MPP party se de be ya wo be nya mfaso be kan wo no yire no ma no obusia na se se enye ho enti enya ya asem a ada we na se ada we na me diwe eti ana nti de to abama ana we yanka sa yie and say who been this fonka and say who been any atem di ban and mo ndi na na de MPP but zaga na ko to abama Eti mu yenya yen so na MPP for na mu from yesemu wa bu fa nsemu on mama mu femba na mu take NDC for na omo ayo ma ne basa na e di ne ma eye ti am be so mu ka ho asem na makwa ko ntuma mfensu ya
asamba no anya abotre. Hello, good evening. Radio setting confirm mudin ba bia ten kafri. Too bad. My main for hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Eba chodin ba bia ten kafri.
Mpacho me ka Africa so e fa me mark.
Aja mark me pacho me enti o.
Mpacho di empese me ka ne se. E friend say empanyifo a empese mu gina mai. Se bi onye obi na be chi obi nsa e de na ba be gina ho mai. Enye obi na be so obi nsa de na ba be gina ho mai. Ana we ne yakọ abato, ne yakọ abato a ne be to e be yi na aba no. Mum ye nyina ye rally behind that person. She say e be to aka se me na we ama me nyisi, we ama me nyisi. Na se we ama na se wo si wo nyisi a na otra ho ane said opposition on the beko so atena na mum ye ni say abato ne beko nti e ko abato no ne be yi na mayen no ye nyina ya tonyo ba ko di nechi na fe ya ko di nkunje ndi aba me dem ase
Meso me da say well noted. Hello, good evening.
hello bro here
Opan. Hey, me ton kache nana mami nti o.
ana za to etu Tama unti. Bro ene. Yewi asi on. Ke okuja to dum no ya mamu sa ayini sa on. Okuja to petesi ba from ye bi dawo. Oja se. Obi MPP achi no. Ohun se anya dia line no obetimi. Eti no o na even je okuja to. Ni first name is Brazil ni o.
I don't enjoy Brazil.
What is it? Oh, and then the boy has been or you dying at him. The who need dying. And then your mom in the serious post. Foreign affairs. Then we are not serious. Obi a mo bra a wo so yire na ha dan ada na see ma push that not serious accusation. What does the matter get the report what does it mo ada na ma me see Atumpan education minister what the apartment oh now who said it away who sorry I who said the Uji concerned by champion no more mabubo mo bra papa bi. What is it? Nanado bucket crown so bida. Who kuja to who sorry di nanado atem. Na me ya na emi ya say dey na form wo krom ha no. Nya chumu ne doso. 107.3. Ena ba omia na eko, ena Kennedy na eko. Instead of say mo be attack ke the one na ayikate smart no mo ne. Muntie ayifa Journalists for the one with number and na young woman, your journalists for NPP journalists for all of them could be apart. And I said, I couldn't know peace of and some Papa Ben or Moka MPP, and I know I'm on the opposite. Jump, a political party. What is it?
Right. Nana Mira say, I'm running a break, I'm running a break, honorable man, young quickly. No, we say Hana Bissue, well, Bissue and again, what we say, and this is for no more Galamsey, no, and then I'm an idea mouse or Bubomudi.
Oh, that man kade minimuna where Galamsey so missy onye one political party MPP NDC.
Okay.
At the time that I was there, yakwa yebokon NDC form MPP form, and those times what you want on the makers I'm the 2019 since I stepped aside on my head my mining wage and as I speak minimum biara I but for the experience I have, I know that Eko could be no constituency chairman and this constituency chairman or but on MPP from way
Okay.
Are you getting me? And this constituency chairperson, or your mine in 2018 on, but on your MPP for watching the machines now, MPP for all Bapachom. But that's a
Matias, and I've been serious with you.
Dabi. I'm the one of you, Bono, a number. Name me a hunter, no fancy, now.
Right. Russell, yes, sorry, finally, Mammy Junior, sorry.
But that's it. We just there, yes, the 4th month into President Muhammad Nabin. Well, start, we had to teach a show now. I mean, you're the Yamias will be a we, and I'm over. Which is the Yaboshan one what on 1,000. You to me, I should know, but and this time you'll be in a judge shown at the basin, or they should nation ye. A young mammy saw on tap on your best say, a bobom paid in Yankopon or Oberson Yerba, no about you, need you to tell American, or be a pedobo to the mammy and Anna Papa and Bushing Bias. Martin was containers beside you, or there she be at within 4 months in some no dorsal, no cocaine, nay, no money. It means that I say chief executive of an institution, Banessa, and declare profit Bonessa, and some of them are not today. At the end of the year, declaration of profits or bears.
Yeah.
And Ghana no or any years and best president, Mama. Which is then some more can Akushipi no D. Say on Yakushusa, 1 million then on ye no car, Pochaza.
Yeah.
Na yen so MPP soon, ye bay young years. To them, paying Fakan, a career, no by my MPP widen. Ye too, ye china. Mubia, which is the Kennedy weekend, or say, also be a wine, Bonibia on Fenchen. Also, Obel, and also a tell Nanda, no so that your name, to them, my young crew, because say, I'm for Korea, Maneka for Jesus Christ, cry into me, and Yamba, Ubia urban or Safata.
Unity strength.
Exactly. Now, my cookie committee reporting about me this day in Ibafa, nay, I then, ya, you wajuma. Nyame onshirobia
nyame so enyo kese mera say honorable Charles Cromwell Nana Beini unua wonto Bissue for coming nyame enyo kese na wani so de hunu so emremo
nyame sure
meda se pa
we know
107.3 Asaasepa